Hello there. Welcome to Dharma Science Radio, your one-stop shop for foundational human design awareness that can radically transform your life, but only if you try it out, because it doesn't matter what you believe. It matters what you do.
And it's much more powerful than anything you can imagine. In the first 10 years I taught human design, I never told anybody about the not self because I was afraid that it would discourage them. No, really. Because the not self is so powerful. This who you are not. Remember, it's genetic. When you look at the whiteness in your chart, understand that those are receptors in you, genetic receptors in you saying, I must have that other. That's what I'm missing, that's what I need, that's who I must be. It is so powerful. And from the moment you're born, because you're homogenized, because your parents don't feed you correctly, that you have neural shutdown when you're 3 years old, that you never get a chance to develop what is your unique cognitive potential, ever. And then on top of that, you're conditioned away from your type. You're not respected. I mean, what we do to those supposedly that we love, what a joke. How cruel that is. I was never treated with respect when I was growing up, and my parents loved me. It wasn't that they did not love me. They just didn't know any better. I watched them destroy my brother. I mean, I just watched. I mean, at least I was a manifester, an ego manifester. I could stand up to the devil. It's so easy to destroy somebody. It's so easy to lead them astray. It's so easy to put them in that world out there where all that mundane, banal nonsense and lies rule. This is not common knowledge. You're not going to give this to the masses. You can't. They're not ready for it. They will never be ready for it. It isn't the way things are meant to be. We're coming to the end game of our time. And you see, in that end game opens up a window of possibility. We're living in a great time. Eh? We really are. We're living in a time where a human being can truly understand how to operate as themselves. It's not a big deal. I mean, when you think about the whole history of humanity, that nobody has ever been told just the way they operate. How much easier that makes your life. What a difference that is.
Hello there. Welcome to Dharma Science Radio, your one-stop shop for foundational human design awareness that can radically transform your life, but only if you try it out. Because it doesn't matter what you believe. It matters what you do. My name is Ian, and today we're talking about, well, I'm talking about the primary health system first and foremost. So many people get no chance whatsoever in their life to live anything resembling the truth. So many people in this life have no chance at expressing their own unique, differentiated perspective upon this life. You see, we inherited society from the previous species of human, and they did not have the potential to become different like we do. And because we inherited the society that we live in from them, We're expected to do the same things. We're expected to go to the same schools. We're expected to eat the same foods. We're expected to live the same way. And it does not work. Period. Full stop. End of story. You see, I was born with a primary health system keynote called hot thirst. Hot thirst. This means that every time I eat, every time I take in energy and information, everything I drink, ideally, that food, that water, that's above my body temperature. And it's hydrating. Not dry, not cold, but hot and wet. This is what feeds my brain to fire neurons and synapses in a unique, differentiated way and to see this world how only I could see it. And I had no idea about this my entire life till I was almost 30 years old. Maybe like 26, something like that, when I first started in human design. Now, because I lived years and years and years and years and years of my life eating the wrong foods in the wrong ways at the wrong time, I grew a fat brain. I grew a brain that was unsure and unconfident in its abilities. It was homogenized by the normal world, the sickness of what it means to be normal and to do things the way everybody does them, to poison myself because I don't know any better. And I know, I have memories, recollections, these moments in my past wherein I had this sense of, this is the reality I'm in. These are literally the decisions I've made. Wow. Why the hell would I do that? What is wrong with me? Now I know what was wrong with me. Now I know why I was behaving out of line in my past. I didn't know who I was. I didn't even know how to eat, let alone how to breathe or how to make a decision. I was simply being. And in spite of it all, I found a way to have my own satisfaction along the way. I'm a generator aura type. Kind of lucky in a way. All 4 of my motors are defined together. My body moves on autopilot, and it always has. And yet this world wanted me to think everything through and figure it all out and know what I'm going to do with my life and manifest destiny, How delusional. Life doesn't work that way. Not for me. And so when I started to eat correctly, when I stopped drinking cold water, now that was a radical, profound shift in my entire life. I stopped drinking cold water. I started drinking hot water. And all of a sudden, it's like I had to make sure I had hot water around. So I was carrying 2 gigantic thermoses. Like this is just one thermos right here. I used to carry 2 of them around, one of which was around that size, one of which was around twice the size. And in the larger one, it was a Stanley thermos, and I filled it with the most hot water possible. It was boiling to the limit. And then I also had a smaller tea thermos, and I would blend the hot water and the neutral water together to get that just right heat. And I'd be driving around for DoorDash, and soon as I got serious about my primary health system, I started declining cold foods. I started declining all the cold water. If I drank a sip of the water and it was cold, I would spit it out. Just, get that out of me. That's wrong. I don't like that. That feels wrong. I could feel a shiver go through my entire body. Just, ugh. And once I started honoring my primary health system, oh my God, my work output, it went up by like 40% for over a month. I was doing like 10 or 11-hour days for like a month.
The biggest problem I was having was getting my head wrapped around all of the content and all of the information held within the human design system Ian really made it simple for me to engage my curiosity for one, but made it approachable enough to where I felt like I could immediately get value out of the conversation and immediately start applying things to my day-to-day life where it didn't seem like some big puzzle I had to solve. It was an immediate solution to something that I was dealing with in my life. How am I going to apply this with any sense of reality? And he made it so simple and so easy that I have now been on another year and a half since that first meeting with him and my first introduction into human design. And it has really given my overall life experience and the quality of my conscious experience a great boost, and overall something I would highly recommend to anyone else that's early on in their years or even months sometimes, like I was at human design.
I've been following Ian for about a year now, and I got the chance to work with him recently. The way that his knowledge of human design expands when you're in his presence to fit what you need exactly is something that is a joy to work with and a joy to see live in person.
Oh my gosh, this session was so unique because Ian really made it feel like I didn't have to worry about expectations. I didn't have to have a certain outcome be a certain way, and really helped me understand that I could just kind of ease my way into this. And he was so conversational about it that it felt like I looked up and the time had gone so quickly that I wasn't expecting it to be as much value as it was for as easy as it felt.
I definitely recommend getting a reading, getting a chance to work with Ian. He's one of the kindest souls I've met and has a really firm grasp on the information in human design. Definitely recommend.
I would recommend working with Ian for anyone that is wanting to have someone that will be both there to nurture your curiosity about human design and the fun things that you can explore about it, but also will challenge you and push you in a direction that will get you up and moving and using it in your real life. I think more than anything else, if you want to not just mentally know this system, if you want to understand how to apply it and use it and see immediate results, Ian is the person I would recommend for that. I think it is important for people to remember that this is an experiment. It is not something that you can try without trying. Like you can't get the flavor of something unless you've chewed it up and swallowed it, right? And this is one of those things where Ian does such a wonderful job of making each thing that you're experiencing understandable and allows you to apply it with repetition. So it's not just a one-time thing. You learn how to build really good habits and how to build really good ways to honor your own authority in your own life. And from there, he lets you go and then you can fly. It's pretty remarkable how well he sets up my overall experience within human design for the purpose of changing my life, which it really did.
Before I knew about my PHS when I was younger, at one of my first jobs, it eventually wound up going to 10-hour days, 6 days a week. And after 2 weeks of that, I quit because I didn't want to be alive anymore. And I knew that's wrong because I want to be alive. Life is worth it. Life can bring so much satisfaction, so much success, so much peace, and so much surprise. No matter what you're thinking about, no matter what you're feeling, you can find your signature. This is my belief. If you trust in yourself and you trust in the process. Because wow, so much has changed. It's not like I could have written this story for myself. I see that there are layers upon layers upon layers upon layers upon layers of mechanical truth operating in this moment. Do you have any idea how many cells exist inside your body that are operating in perfect harmony with one another? Do you have any idea how many atoms it takes, how many electrons it takes operating in perfect synchronicity every single second of every single day for decades? All of that harmony, all of that symphony is perfect in every single moment. There's so much going on that we simply can't keep up with. And for me, it was a relief. To learn that my mind doesn't have to figure it all out on its own and determine what happens next, that I was born with a predisposition, a predetermination, that I can either honor that determination or not. And if I don't honor it, then I grow this fat brain, this sluggish brain that can hardly think. It can only follow the whatever of the world. And if I honor my health system, if I honor my inner authority, then I start to see differently. I start to operate differently. And I can see it from the inside out. And so could you. If you have enjoyed the show and would like to learn more about how all of this applies specifically to you, then kindly refer to the link in this video's description, Private Consultation. Here, we can dive into all of the details together in a recorded call. May your signature vibration of satisfaction, success, peace, and surprise find you in a good way.